Welcome guys to the Meet Damien live stream. Today we're going to be talking about how Bitcoin is doing a recovery, getting a recovery relief rally here. Sort of, kind of, a little bit. Bouncing off a very key level that it needed to stay above, in my opinion. We'd like to see it do a little bit more than what it's doing right now, but hey, you know, this is good enough to get people to not freak out so much. Seeing some green in the Bitcoin price here. It's always a welcoming sight here. But yeah, let's go ahead and we'll talk about Bitcoin here, and then we'll talk about some of the altcoins here. See how the altcoins are doing, and let me just show you guys what I'm seeing here on the charts here. So Bitcoin, as we have said in previous live streams here, it needed to stay above this 200-day moving average, this red line here. That 200-day moving average is currently sitting at 108,306. We're comfortably above that by about 2,000 points here. So that is good to see. We kind of lost that 200-day moving average earlier on last Friday. And then I said, you know, around that time, like, we need a V-shaped recovery, which we were trying to do last weekend. And then we got rejected off the moving averages here. We actually went past this 100-day moving average. That was good to see here on Tuesday. And it would have been nice to see if it actually make it up to the 50-day moving average. Didn't quite get there, about 1,000 points away. That 50-day moving average was sitting at 115 grand. And Bitcoin only got up to like 114 grand on Tuesday before we came down. Kind of gave people a little bit of a scare here. We actually closed on Wednesday, yesterday, last night. We closed below the 200-day moving average. I'm like, oh my god, are we about to do this again? Because if we continue going down to lower prices below this 200-day moving average, I know I myself was going to start selling some of my crypto, some of my altcoins, because every time we get below the 200-day moving average and we stay below it, it's usually considered a bear market. Okay, we had the scare of a bear market back here in March and April. You guys all know how that felt when Bitcoin went from like $109,000 down to 74,000. We lost that 200-day moving average back here in March, played around with it, and then definitely lost it here in April. And that didn't feel so good, did it? We were able to get ourselves out of there when Donald Trump said he wasn't going to do tariffs, or like he was going to work with other countries on the tariff situation. That was why we got our recovery bounce to higher prices here. But once again, you know, Donald Trump is affecting the markets here for crypto, because on Friday, October 10th, he threatened 100% tariffs with China, and we immediately came right down to that 200-day moving average. And then he said, just kidding, on Sunday or something like that. And then the markets came down again one more time because he's saying that he might not meet with the president of China, Xi Jinping, or however you pronounce his name. And that's affecting the markets in crypto right now. I think tomorrow we have a CPI report coming out. That's going to affect the markets as well. I think we're all kind of waiting to see how that report comes out tomorrow morning. Here in the United States, around like 8:30 a.m. Eastern time is when that report should come out. And it's going to allow us to know, like, is inflation coming down? And if inflation is coming down, then that's going to be celebrated by the markets. Because the Federal Reserve can use that as a reason to actually lower interest rates going into next week, and maybe lower interest rates again in December and further from there. We don't really have that many economic reports because of the government shutdown, but we're finally getting one with the CPI report tomorrow. So you guys definitely got to pay attention to that report coming out tomorrow. It's going to affect the markets. You would think if the report is good and showing that inflation is coming down, that we should at least see Bitcoin come up to that 50-day moving average sitting at 114,894. I think that would be really nice to see here. We could also come up to that 100-day moving average sitting at 112,500. I think we got to see that. That would be nice to see 112,000 again later on today. But I think the markets are going to be, or at least Bitcoin will probably trade sideways at $110,000 for now until tomorrow morning, in my opinion. Once we finally get that data, then more people will commit money into Bitcoin and crypto here. We got Beyond Thunderstick is in the YouTube chat here. He says, this is a sell the news scenario just like in the spring. We're on a solid trajectory. The market will rotate from gold to Bitcoin via ETFs, which is slow and painful to watch, but it's happening now. Another thing that we're waiting on is there's a crypto market structure bill that we're waiting on Congress to pass, and because of the whole government shutdown and stuff like that, it's kind of affecting the legislation that's coming out. But we're also waiting on that as well. That could come out, you know, later on this week, next month, who knows. But that's another catalyst that is positive for crypto that we're also waiting on. And then also the government shutdown itself, if they could just open back up again, we are waiting on ETFs, the exchange traded funds, for Solana and XRP and some of these other altcoins. So there's still some things to look forward to, which I think is one of the reasons why the market's bouncing back here, because we realized that, yeah, you know, things kind of did look bad with, you know, Trump talking about tariffs, but we have some things to look forward to with interest rates coming down, a crypto market structure bill coming out, and then ETFs for altcoins coming out later on, probably going into next month as well. I see Mars in the chat. He says, don't sell, Damien. They're trying to make everyone sell their crypto. Yeah, it seems like that. They're doing a pretty good job of scaring people here. And let's see, who else we got here? Idreas is in the chat saying, how are you? I am doing all right, Idreas. I am doing all right. How are you doing? And then Idreas says he wants to take a look at World Liberty Finance. So I guess that will be one of the first altcoins we'll take a look at. I also see Laureen is in the chat here. Good to see Laureen. We've been chatting up on Discord. Good to see you make it onto the YouTube broadcast here. Alright, so we got to take a look at World Liberty Finance. And Durite's asking me, how long do I think the shutdown will last? I mean, it's looking like it's going to be one of the longer lasting. I think it's like in second place for like the second longest government shutdown. The longest lasted almost like 2 months. So we're not 1 month into it. We're almost 1 month into it, like 3 weeks into it. But the government shutdown could last another 3 weeks from where we are right now. Like we might have the government shutdown going into Thanksgiving. Who knows? But I know that with the government shutdown, it is affecting Americans here. Not only are government employees not able to get paid and still required to go to work, but the government shutdown is affecting people with food stamps, and that's going to affect a lot of the citizens and constituents all across the board, and that's going to really get people fired up here if they're having a hard time putting food on the table because they can't get food stamps. That's going to really drive up the pressure to actually resume the government, or at least get something passed so they can get some money out to people here. Lorraine wants to take a look at CoAI. Of course we can look at CoAI for you. It's been a tough one for me to get back into this morning. I'm not going to chase it. I got into other trades myself besides CoAI. I tried to get into CoAI myself at 15 bucks, but that didn't hit, and then it jumped right up to 17 bucks. I actually tried to get in at like 14 bucks. It went to like 14.25 earlier this morning, and didn't quite hit for me either. But yeah, we're gonna look at World Liberty Finance first for Idreas. So let's take a look at that one first, and then we'll look at CoAI. World Liberty Finance currently trading at 14 cents, up 14% today. Oh, okay. So World Liberty's finally catching the bids today. I know you asked about this earlier this week. I don't know if you listened to my my opinion, not financial advice. My opinion was if you were going to stay in this crypto, you would put your stop loss below the lows here. You don't have to put it below the low on Friday because this is a little bit ridiculous, but just to limit your losses here and be reasonable, I think putting a stop loss below like 11, let's see, we got down like 11.5 cents roughly on Sunday, October 12th. I think putting your stop loss below 11.5 cents would have been like, you know, a good stop loss to be in this, and then you're just waiting to go to higher prices here. It looks like you got rejected. You know, if you guys aren't using the moving average strategy like I use, I'm using the 21 EMA here, this white line, and you can see like we came right up to that white line and got rejected at 15.5 cents here. So it's not magic, guys. There's other traders and investors that are using these moving averages, and I would suggest you put in the 21 exponential moving average to help you figure out like what the target might be to the upside. And it looks like someone had that on their chart and they decided to click the sell button when this thing got up to like 15.5 cents here. So you guys might want to put that in your moving average strategy. When I do the moving averages, I do the moving averages like this. I go to the 5 moving average indicator here, and you know, I put in some moving averages here. I got the 21 moving average, the 50, the 100, the 200. I have a 150 here, but I don't actually put that on. Like I actually clicked it off. Yeah, so I actually do 4 moving averages here. I do like the 200, the 100, the 50, and the 21 moving average. Okay, and it works like a charm, as you can see that on this chart. It actually came right to it, got rejected. All right, but if this thing was to get past that 21 EMA, okay, then we're looking to see if this thing can get right back up to what the previous 0.236 retracement level was showing was 18 cents here. Can World Liberty get back to 18 cents? Because you got some sideways trading action in that zone. You got some support back here in September. I think 18 cents is your next target before you start climbing up to the higher levels here. Of course, you got higher levels above you, but I think right now you're just trying to get back up to 18 cents for World Liberty Finance here. Alright, Beyond Thunderstick says, in the micro, this stuff hurts crypto, but on the macro, this is why crypto is here. The noise says sell, the signal says buy as much as possible. Yeah, that sounds like a good plan right there. Buy the fear. When people get afraid, it's usually a good time to buy something. Idris says you bought in at 24 cents. Well, yeah, you're gonna have to wait for 24 cents to recover your money. But if you have more money to put to work, maybe not a bad idea to put some money to work and then just put your stop loss at 11.5 cents. I think you'll be good to try and make some more money with World Liberty Finance. Lewis says, hey Damien, how can you contact me? You can message me since you're on TikTok. You can message me on TikTok. And yeah, I can follow you back. You follow me, I follow you back. If that's how you want to contact me. Also, I do have a Discord channel, which is in the description to TikTok. Right? If I go on my TikTok, let me just go on my TikTok. You can see like there's a link to my Discord right here on TikTok. You can click on that link and join the Discord, and you'll see me here on Discord. You see when I go live, I put up the you know, the links for the videos here. All right, so you can keep in contact with me here on Discord. All right, going back to the charts here. Let's go ahead and take a look at the high-flying CoAI cryptocurrency here. Currently up 28%, being a beast of a crypto this whole entire week here. Obviously, it had a drop. We've seen CoAI get as high as like $20.04 back on Thursday of last week, October 16th. And then it had a nasty drop on Friday, down 34%. Another nasty drop on Saturday, and an even nastier drop on Sunday, down 45%. And CoAI came down to some levels I was eyeballing at the time earlier this week. I got into the CoAI trade, trying to long it around this area, mainly because I had a Fibonacci to look for. And the Fibonacci level that I was looking for was this 0.236 level at $4.83. I marked it off at 485 here, and this was a level that acted as support back here on October 9th. and I was eyeballing it. I actually got in at 490, then got stopped out at 460, but I got back into my CoAI trade, my long, at like $5, and I was able to ride the wave up here on Tuesday, where we saw CoAI get as high as like $10. I had a long that got tip profit at $10, and I got back in and out of CoAI the last few days here. Obviously, I think this thing is probably going to go back to $20. It's on its way up to $20. We got as high as like $17.96 today. I'm going to go to the 1 hour chart now on CoAI. And we'll take a look at the oscillators here for you. On Market Cipher B, you can see that things are getting a little bit overheated here. We hit the red sell bars here. This is overbought conditions here. You can see we have top signals coming in here on Tuesday, also here on Thursday. But however, you did have a green buy dot that came in. Maybe you get one last push up that actually takes you up to $20 before you get another red signal, a red sell dot here on CoAI. That could happen maybe later on tonight or tomorrow. But, you know, be careful. Just pay attention to Market Cipher B with the red sell dot. When you see that thing come in, I would take profit. Maybe even consider entering a short. Because you just don't know. I think $20 is a good area to try to short if you're inclined to do so here. But this thing just moves way too fast and hard. Hard to get in at a good price and actually not get stopped out before this thing starts shooting back up again. But if you use low leverage and you a little bit generous on your stop loss, then you could actually ride this thing up. And all you're doing is you're just trying to buy the dips here, right, on the 1 hour time frame. You know, this thing will top out and then it kind of goes, it gets a pullback. The pullback is where you want to try to get in if you can, and then it does end up going up and to the right at some point here. I was trying to get in last night after I made some money, and I got stopped out, got back in, got stopped out at break even, and yeah, hard for me to get in this morning. Too many people trying to get in onto this trade, and yeah, I actually tried to get in early this morning around like $14. This thing came to $14.25 before it just shot back up again. Then there was like kind of like a slight pullback earlier where it came down to like if I go into maybe like a 15-minute time frame. It was like a slight pullback before like around 11 a.m. I was trying to get in at $15, and yeah, I just haven't really had luck trying to get in on this trade here for CoAI, but I hope it works out well for you, Lorraine. It's already worked out well for me. I already made money on CoAI, and I was just trying to get back into it myself. But now I'm thinking about maybe shorting it when it hits $20. Because if we go back into you know, the higher time frames here, we just zoom out for a second here. $20 is where this thing topped out at back here on Thursday, October 16th. You could try to game plan. You know, you take a short at $20.04. Maybe put a tight stop loss at like 21 or 22 bucks. And this thing has a lot of proving to do. Can it actually go past that $20 level here? All right, now what I want to show you here on the 8 hour time frame, right? If we go with the 8 hour time frame, there is some things to look out for here. On the 8 hour time frame, you did have a green buy dot here that came in on Tuesday. You got a flip into the green. That flip on the money flow came in around like yesterday afternoon, and now you're getting some more green here. And I guess, you know, if CoAI continues being bullish and goes past $20, then you're gonna look at the 8 hour time frame to see if this thing actually gets into overbought territory like it did, you know, last week and a couple of weeks ago. And then that's when you might want to consider selling or doing a short on CoAI. But by that point, CoAI could be like a $25, $30 crypto. And I'm not really talking out of my ass when I say that, because you do have a 1272 fib extension at $25. That would be another target to look for on CoAI. And then you do have a 1618 that says CoAI could get up to like $32 here. And it gets even crazier. If this thing is going to be a super bullish crypto going forward into the future here, you got a 2618 saying that this thing could get up to like $52. And then for the Moon Boys, you got a 3618 that says this thing could get up to like $72 at some point later on in the future. We shall see. We shall see. But that's what I have for the Fibonacci here. It's saying it is a possibility. Alright. Thank you guys for hitting that like button. Let's go ahead and try to get some more likes here on TikTok, please. If you guys can double tap your screen, that's how you send a like here. Appreciate that. Khan wants me to take a look at Ethereum. Let me go ahead and write that down. We'll take a look at ETH. And then let's see what else do I have for requests here. Ooh, somebody's speaking a language I don't even know. STIGN. I don't know what language you're speaking. It's like, it looks like a European language, like it might be German or French, I don't know. Ray says XRP Army. You know, we could take a look at XRP. We'll take a look at XRP after Ethereum. Alright. Alright, let's see. Any more requests here? I think that's it for now. If I miss a request, just put it in the chat here. Lorraine, just be very careful with that CoAI trade. It runs hot, but you know, we've seen it also drop down just as fast. Okay. You're waiting for the big guys, the venture capitalists, to click the sell button, and then it ends up becoming a short again to get into. You want to take a look at NPC? I'll try to take a look at NPC. Does that stand for non-playable character? Alright. Let's look at Ethereum, and then we'll look at XRP here. Let's get into the daily time frame for Ethereum. We're looking at Ethereum right now, currently trading at $3,886, up 2% today. Very modest, not as crazy as some of the other coins out there. Ethereum is kind of like hanging out near this 618 Fibonacci here at 3,868. If we lose this level, then we might have to come down to the 0.5 retracement at 3,534. Which is kind of like right next to this 100-day moving average at 36.41. So there might be lower prices in store for Ethereum if Ethereum is not able to catch the bids here. But like what I do like seeing here on the daily time frame is, yeah, we had that vicious drop here on October 10th, right, where we saw Ethereum get down to like 3,500. But you are making higher lows here, right? And every time we actually, you know, drop below like $3,800, we get bought up real quick here. So you're making higher lows here. That's good to see. That's progress. Would be nice to see if Ethereum can catch some bids and actually get above this 50-day moving average. That 50-day moving average is at 41.67. I think that is your next target for Ethereum, for the day traders out there. For the long-term swing traders, though, you're probably looking for more than just that. Can Ethereum get back up to the highs here that it saw back here in October, where we saw Ethereum at 47.59? We shall see. We shall see. But Ethereum has been making lower highs over the past couple of months here. We did see Ethereum top out at 49.55. That is a target to look for. We haven't done that since August 24th of this year. And that's where I pulled the fib from, 49.50 all the way down to the 2,100 level. And that's how I got my fibs here. If Ethereum is actually going to break out of this potential bull flag that it's trying to create right now, then we do have a 1272 fib extension above us at 5,721. That is your first target that most likely will get hit with a bullish Ethereum. And then the next target after that is going to be 6,700. That's your 1618 on the fib extension level. And then maybe for you Moon Boys out there, you might see a $9,500 Ethereum. That's your 2618. And you know, that would require Bitcoin to actually start running here and go to new all-time highs. And maybe if Bitcoin gets up to 200 grand, you might see a $9,000 Ethereum. But you know, don't hold your breath yet. Still got some levels to work through on Ethereum. Let's try to get back up to the 786 here at 4,300, and of course get above the 50-day moving 50-day moving average at 4,167 before we even talk about 5, 6, 7, or $9,000 Ethereum here. All right, moving on from Ethereum, we'll take a look at XRP. XRP currently trading at $2.40, up not as much as Ethereum, only up 1.6% today. And what do we have here in the daily time frame here? Could this possibly be an inverted head and shoulders pattern for XRP? Let me see if I can draw this out as best as I can here. But you got kind of like the head here, right? And then you got possibly a left shoulder here. You can just visualize that. Just disregard this crazy ass wick here. And then you got the right shoulder possibly being formed right now on XRP. And if this is an inverted head and shoulder pattern, which is considered bullish because it would break out to the upside if that's the case, then you just measure from what the head is over here down to the neckline of this upside down person here with the left shoulder, head, right shoulder, and you take this measure move and you put it to like where we could break out from the neckline, and it's showing that XRP could get up to basically where the 100-day movement average is sitting at. This blue number here, $2.73, is confluent with the 100-day movement average at 271, 272. So I think the next target for XRP to the upside should be about 271, 272, which is that 100-day moving average sitting right above you. And then once we get past that level, can we get up to the 50-day moving average, which is sitting at like 294 on XRP? I don't know. We shall see. We shall see. But that's what you would expect right now out of XRP if it is going to be bullish. And as I start to zoom out, I'm going to pull up the VRVP now, which is going to be this green and red indicator off to the right. And it is showing that XRP is below the value area low. This is the value area low, this white line here at 246. If you're below the value area low, you're considered undervalued. And you have a lot of, room to go up to the upside if you can get past that value area low at 246, which is, we're not that far away. There's a big gap in the volume here, and it says that the next resistance should be about 280 on XRP. Then you have another gap here, and then you got the most amount of volume. The good majority of people bought XRP at $3 over the last few months here. This blue line indicating this is the point of control where a majority of people bought XRP at. You would think once we get to $3 that, we're going to bump our head up against there. It's going to be kind of tough for us to get above $3. But if we are able to get above $3 on XRP, then you got the volume dropping off here. And you don't really have that much resistance until you get to the value area high, this white line at 364. 364 was the highest point that XRP got up to earlier this year. Where we saw, 364, 366 on XRP back in July of 2025. So I think the VRVP indicator is kind of useful to use here. Gives you some levels to look out for if you know how to read it. And if you guys don't know how to read the VRVP indicator, I actually do have a video here on TikTok that I pinned. Thank you guys here for following me on TikTok. Appreciate that. But I do have a VRVP indicator video here that I pinned on my TikTok that you guys can watch and learn how to use the VRVP indicator. And for those who don't know how to use the Fibonacci, I got another video here for the Fibonacci on how to use the Fibonacci indicator here. And that one's also pinned to the top on my TikTok channel. And I also got it on my YouTube channel as well. You guys can see that if you go into the video section of my YouTube here. Alrighty. Let's see. We got a request here for Solana. Alright, I'll take a look at Solana for you. We gotta look at that after we look at NPC, because that came in first before Solana. Thank you for the request, though. We got 16 people here on TikTok and about 1,000 likes here. Let's see if we can get up to like 2,000 likes here. If you guys can double tap that screen, I think we can easily do that. Especially if I'm giving you guys some good TA and I'm doing it for free here. At the very least you guys can do is double tap that screen to show your appreciation for my for my analysis here. Thank you guys. Let's take a look at the NPC non-playable coin. And of course, YouTube guys, don't forget to hit that like button if you haven't done so already. And if you're new to the channel, go ahead and subscribe. Subscribe to the channel so you can see me show up on your YouTube feed all over again. Alright, we're looking at NPC, non-playable coin. This thing is currently trading at about a penny. We'll just call that 11,764. But yeah, basically a penny. Up 3.4% today. I'm just zooming out on NPC. This thing has seen better days here in August. We saw this thing as high as like 3 pennies. Okay. But right now you are in bearish territory because you're, you know, below the 200-day moving average, this red line. Get above the 200-day moving average. That thing is sitting at about almost 2 pennies here. 0.0185 pennies to be exact. Get above that 200-day moving average and I can be bullish again on this asset here. But right now, this thing has a lot of proving to do. However, there is some hope here. We had some lows here back in June where this thing was as low as like, we're going to call it 9,957. And I believe you're still making higher lows than that. Yeah, you got down to like 10,600 on Friday, October 10th. And then 11,039 on the following Friday, the 17th of October. And then looks like on Wednesday you got as low as 11,072. So you are making higher lows compared to what you did here in June. You're still making higher lows. Slightly and barely, but you're still making higher lows here. Okay. So that is good to see here on NPC. It gives you a little bit of hope there. But you got a lot of work to do. But because you have a lot of work to do, there's potential, a lot of upside if this thing does catch some bids here. Let's just try to measure this out long position wise. If we were to go long right now, I'd probably put the stop loss right below the lows here over the last few days. And you got like a 9% stop loss here. And if you just get back up to that 200-day moving average, that's about a 57% gain. Slap on some 10x leverage onto that for you day traders out there, and that could be a 570% gain for you. Or if you don't want to go too crazy on the leverage, you just do a 2x leverage, and that's about 114% gain right there. But if you get back up to this 50-day moving average right above you at 2 cents, you're looking at possibly an 87%. This thing could possibly double if it gets right back up to that 50-day moving average. Something worth taking a trade. You know, this thing is kind of like in a falling wedge. A falling wedge is considered bullish if it does break out to the upside. But you got this falling wedge right here. I'm gonna try to draw this out for you guys. So you got a falling wedge, and then you got slightly higher lows here, still maintaining an uptrend. If this thing does break out to the upside, yeah, I would expect it to at least get back up to the 200-day moving average, and then also get up to that 50-day moving average possibly here. So this thing, not bad for a trade, and you can strategically plan your stop loss to be right below the lows here on last Friday. Right, I got this thing, what I got, like right here. So even like a 7% stop loss. If we just put your stop loss at 1 penny, you're not risking that much, and you got a lot of reward ahead of you if the thing gets back to the moving averages here. All right, let's see what you guys are saying here on TikTok. Thank you, Nico, for following me here. Looks like you're using Rainy Hipper's picture, though. I don't know if I like that. There's only one Rainy Hipper. I hope you're not out here trying to scam people. And thank you, Z5, for following me here on TikTok as well. And oh, now we got Lorraine in the TikTok chat. Good to see you there, Lorraine. Alright. Andy C, thank you for following me here. Thank you, appreciate that. Alright, let's take a look at Solana. Soul. Do you got some soul? Please tell me you got some soul for me. Actually, I want to use it on Coinbase. Let's look at it on Coinbase here. So we see Sol is currently, Solana currently trading at $193, up 7% today. Doing better than some of the other high market cap cryptocurrencies. Definitely better than Ethereum and better than Bitcoin here. So it looks like Solana was the high market cryptocurrency to be in for today. Solana is also trying to stay above its 200-day moving average. It hasn't lost it, unlike Bitcoin. Bitcoin kind of like dipped below it, then came up. Solana has been respecting the 200-day moving average. That's good to see. Can Solana then get above the 50-day moving average, that green line above you, sitting at $200? I think Solana could do that. Could happen later on today, tomorrow. If we get a good CPI report tomorrow, I think you'll see a $200 Solana tomorrow. So keep that in mind. The $200 level for Solana is a level to be looking out for, because that is a 618 Fibonacci, the $205 level here, and the 6.5 golden pocket at 209 bucks. Level to be looking out for Solana. Then if Solana is able to get past that level, we have a 786 at 226 could act as resistance, and it did act like resistance back here in the beginning of October. I think we only saw Solana get up to like 237, so we kind of came up to that 786 pocket, and then we got rejected. We also got rejected off this hotline on this parallel channel, this rising channel that Solana's been in. And I still kept this rising channel because we've been in this rising channel all throughout the summer. Since like June 22nd, we've been staying in this channel where we got up as high and got knocked down, create some higher highs here, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows. And then it was, Donald Trump and, talking about 100% tariffs on China that sent us, out of this channel. And now we're trying to stay in, at least above the 200-day moving average. So Solana's trying its best to, like, recover and get back into this channel, hopefully. Hopefully we're able to get back in this channel. We'll see if this channel still plays out in the future here for Solana. But first, we got to get above that 50-day moving average. Get above the 50-day moving average, and I think we'll be all right with Solana going up to higher prices here. Get above 205. I think we'll be all right with Solana. Downside targets, if this, if we get rejected off the 50-day moving average, we'll have to see if the 200-day moving average kind of saves us again at 176 bucks, which is also confluent with that 0.382 at $175 here. And if we lose that level, I mean, that's going to be unfortunate, because that probably means we're about to go into a bear market on Solana. But you do have a 0.236 level here at $156 where you could buy some cheaper Solana. And this level is confluent with the lows here back here in August where we saw Solana at $156. So you would think $156 is a area where you can get some cheaper Solana, and I think you'd be lucky to do so, because I'm not sure if Solana's ever going to go down to that level again. You got a lot of support off the 200-day moving average here that could prevent you from going down to that level. Alright. Gustavo says it's not on Binance. Alright, what's not on Binance? And Andy wants to take a look at Polkadot and Arbitron. And Lorene, you say NFA. Are you joking around saying no, not financial advice, or is that a cryptocurrency that you want me to take a look at? Alright, let me go ahead and write down DOT and Arbitron here. And we have another request here for CELH. Don't know what that is, but we'll take a look at that for you. Alright, let's get into take a look at Polkadot. Alright, Polkadot currently trading at $3.02. Up 3.7% today. And this is what the chart's looking like on the daily time frame. Polkadot, I have to be bearish on Polkadot before I become bullish. I have to be bearish until we get back up to that 200-day moving average. That thing is sitting at 394. That red number right there is 394 is your target for Polkadot just to become bullish again. Alright, looks like on October 10th, the 100% tariffs on China sent us down. below the 200-day moving average. We were trying to make, you know, progress here, right? This was definitely progress all throughout the summer. And then we lost that progress when that 100% tariff threat came out. So now you're down here. And what can you do with this? Let's see. Polkadot. I don't know if Polkadot's ever been this low. I'm just trying to zoom out here on the chart. It's like Polkadot started trading on Coinbase back in June of 2021. We never been this low on Polkadot. But you would think if this was a bullish project that we shouldn't even be this low. So why is Polkadot hanging out at $3 there? Maybe this is a buying opportunity. And if it is a buying opportunity, I mean, this is kind of similar to NPC, where you could just, you know, you might have a very good risk-reward situation here. Let's just measure this out here. If you put your stop loss below the lows here on last Friday, we got as low as 277. See, you just put your stop loss at like 275 maybe. And you're going to ride this thing back up to try to get up to that 200-day moving average. It's about a 30% gain. Your risk-reward ratio is about 3.31. So not the craziest risk-reward ratio, but anything above 3 is considered a good trade. So this is still a good trade to try long. You're not really risking too much. Your stop loss puts you about 9% below where you are right now. And you're trying to get 30%. You're risking 9% for 30% here on Polkadot. And that's all you're going to do here is just try to get back up to the 200-day moving average. Once you get back to the 200-day moving average, come ask me about this cryptocurrency again, and maybe we can talk about going to higher prices. But you can see that the 200-day moving average has acted as resistance before. Like back here in July, we only got above it a little bit here in September, only for us to go below it. And I think this 200-day moving average is going to act as resistance again one more time before you're able to flip it to support and launch up to higher prices here. Tariq says Polkadot is done. Oh man. STIGAN says, Damien, thank you for looking into these coins. See you soon. Yep, thank you for coming into the live stream here. Don't forget to hit the like button. If you haven't followed me on TikTok, go ahead and hit that follow button too, so I show up on your feed again for the guys that go live around this time. All right. Moving on from Polkadot, we'll take a look at Arbitrum, and then CELH after that. All right. Arbitrum currently trading at a little bit less than 32 cents here, up 6% today. That's good to see. Once again, like another cryptocurrency that lost its 200-day moving average, another altcoin that lost its 200-day moving average because of Donald Trump's 100% tariff threat here on October 10th. I guess we could do the same thing here, you know, like we did with Polkadot. And if you just get back up to the 200-day moving average, we'll see how much you can make. Try and do the long position here. So this is a long position here. If I click on this tab here, click a long position, because we're going to try to do a long here, right? And we're going to put the stop loss below the lows here, below the candlewick lows here on October 17th. Once again, that's like a 9% stop loss. And you're trying to get back up to the 200-day moving average. Yeah, you're risking 9% to try and get 24%. The risk-reward ratio is only 2.48. Not the best. You want at least 3 to make it worthwhile. But maybe you're going to stay in the trade longer than the 200-day moving average. Maybe you actually try to stay in the trade to see if this thing gets back up to the 50-day moving average, that green line. If you go to the 50-day moving average, your reward is going to be 40%. Your risk is 9% still. And your risk-reward ratio is a 4. So that's actually a good, worthwhile trade to get into. So if this is what you're trying to do here, you know, you buy now, put your stop loss at like 3 pennies, roughly. Or actually, what was the stop loss? Yeah, about not 3 pennies. I'd just say about like 30 pennies. Yeah, or maybe even like 29 pennies here. And then you're waiting to see if this thing can get back up to like 44 pennies here, which is where that 50-day moving average is sitting at. And that's a really good, worthwhile trade to take there. Risking 9% to get 40%. That's what I would do with Arbitrum here. Alright, moving on from Arbitrum, we'll take a look at the CELH. Celsius Holdings? Is this a stock or a crypto you want me to look at? Looks like it's a stock. Alright, we'll take a look at the stock. Celsius Holdings. Currently trading on the NASDAQ. This thing is at $63.21, up 2.6% today. We're looking at the daily time frame. This thing clearly in a bullish trend here. You got the moving averages exactly where they need to be. You got the 200-day below the 100-day, which is below the 50-day. And that's below the 21 EMA. And the price of the stock is actually above the 21 EMA. So this thing is clearly bullish. This is a nice, well, it has been a nice stock to be in since like February of 2025 here. When this thing bottomed out, this thing was trading at like $21. Whew, all right. Looks like we've seen better days here though in May of 2024. Kind of want to pull up the VRVP indicator on this one, see what we got going on here. So it looks like you got your value area right here. Value area low is that white line, POC is that blue line, and then the value area high is this white line. You're above the value area, so the value area is between the value area high and the value area low. Okay, so this is your value area. You're considered overvalued because you're above the value area. The majority of the people that bought this stock have bought it below $55. Okay, so everybody's in profit right now, which means like they might not be so eager to hit the sell button if they're still in it for the long term here. But if the thing stops dropping down, then yeah, I mean, people might want to hold on to the profits. They might start selling. Although if this thing does drop down to lower prices here, you would expect it to come down to the value area high, maybe get a reaction off that area at like $54. And I think by the time it comes down here, you'll have the green line here, the 50-day moving average creeping up, and that should give you some support. I think $54 to like $54 is going to be a good area to buy this stock if you're able to get some at that price. And that might be all you get for a pullback. It's just basically this thing might come back down to the 50-day moving average. Now, if this thing does continue being bullish, you get past like $66, and there's not really much resistance here on the VRVP. You get a little bit of resistance here at $72. And then there is a little bit of more resistance at $80. And then some more resistance here at, what is that, $92 here. And all this resistance, you know, this resistance that we're looking at here on the VRVP indicator, it's just showing you that back here, you know, people bought at like $72. Thinking that they caught the bottom or caught the low here back in April of 2024. And they did. And the price did go back up again, only for it to then get knocked down. Okay? And now these people that bought at $72, they're underwater right now. And they've been underwater since, you know, since like June of 2024. They've been underwater. And they might want to click the sell button and go into something else once they break even at $72. So I would expect $72 would be the next price target for Celsius going forward here. Just using the VRVP indicator and just looking at previous price action, I think $72 is your next target to the upside for Celsius. And then at, you know, downside target is once again this 50-day moving average at $52. So between $52 and $72 is where I can see this thing bouncing up around over the next few days, next few weeks here. All right, thank you guys again. The likes up here, we're at 3,300 likes here on TikTok. Appreciate you guys hitting that like button, double tapping that screen. Is that Laureen? I just see constant hearts and likes here. Thank you, Laureen, for hitting that like button. Appreciate that. All right, So that's Celsius, and I don't really have any more requests. You guys have anything else you want to take a look at? If not, I'll finish off on Bitcoin, give you my last thoughts about Bitcoin, and then we'll try to do another live stream tomorrow around the same time. I'll try to do a live stream at 12 p.m. Eastern time. I wasn't able to do the live stream at 12 p.m. earlier today because I had some rental car business stuff to do. That took up some of my time this afternoon. But here I am. You know, I try to get this live stream out to you guys. Let's go ahead and take a look at the price of Bitcoin. Bitcoin at 111,200. Could we see $112,000? That is what I want to see next for Bitcoin here. Let me just get rid of the VRVP for now. I want to see how Bitcoin handles itself when it gets to this blue line here, that 100-day moving average. I think that's where Bitcoin could take a breather. Might get rejected. But I think 112,500 is a level that a lot of people would be looking at and trying to figure out, you know, can Bitcoin continue to be bullish after that? We'll see what the CPI report is going to look like tomorrow morning. I think if it's a good report, then you'll definitely see $112,000 Bitcoin. And then you'll probably see Bitcoin bump its head up against this 50-day moving average, that green line sitting at about 115 grand. I think 115 grand is in play for Bitcoin going into tomorrow if we have a good inflation report, CPI report. Let me check up on the chat here. What are you guys saying here? Lorraine's just laughing. Lorraine's one of my biggest fans here. We stay chatting here on Discord all the time. She loves her CoAI. We've both been in it. We've both been making money on CoAI. I suggest you guys come check out the Meet Damien Discord channel here, where you'll see what kind of trades I get into. And you can ask me, like, you know, hey Damien, like, what do you think about, you know, this particular stock or crypto? And we can actually look at the, you know, the charts here. I also share some funny memes as well, but you know, you can see, like, right here I was talking about let's see, what was I talking about? Yeah, I was talking about Bonk. You know, I thought Bonk was a good trade to get into earlier this morning here. And yeah, I just show you my thoughts here, you know, what coins I'm getting into. I got into Pengu and Bonk earlier today, this morning. It's not really a signals group. I'm just here to educate you guys and also entertain and share some jokes as well. But yeah, you can see, like, Lorraine did pretty well earlier today. She showed her gains with a 5x long on CoAI, up 141%, and she's using Mexi Exchange, where she doesn't pay any money for the trading fees. And I'm also using Mexi Exchange as well. You can see I was cooking up a long last night. I was in CoAI with a 5x long on CoAI, up 53%, and I was up 172 bucks on that trade. So yeah, we just share some ideas here. I even did a little short on CoAI just to see if I could short it and long it at the same time. And I still made some money on that short as well. Yeah, come join the Meet Damien Discord. Link is in the TikTok description, and also on my YouTube here. And if we can show you my YouTube here, you can see you can come check out the Meet Damien on YouTube here, and in the description to my channel you should see the link to the Discord as well to stay in touch with me. And also I got an Instagram too. If you guys want to come check me out on Instagram, right, you can send me a friend request and follow me on Instagram here. And I post up some of my videos here, some of my best videos, not all of them, but you know, I post up some of my videos here on Instagram as well. You can follow me on Instagram. This is the Meet Damien Instagram. Alright. So there's a bunch of ways you can get a hold of me guys here. Also, you can find me on Twitter. Oh no, what is this? What is Twitter doing here? But you can find me at Meet Damien Twitter if this thing actually loads up. What is Twitter doing here? There we go. So there's multiple ways to stay in touch with me here on the social media. Meet Damien TikTok. And this thing is not loading up my picture, but you can see my picture right there. Meet Damien on Twitter as well. Okay? All right, guys, that's gonna be it for this live stream. Look for my next live stream. Gonna be tomorrow, same time, 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. Eastern time. Take care and good luck trading and investing in whatever asset you decide to get into. Take care, guys.